video making. Not that you would know. I'm very excited. I don't know if you noticed my swag that I still have on my wristband, but that's a thing. That was a thing that happened, and darn it, it was a lot of fun. So I am here to share with you the things that I got, because oh, things were gotten. They have such big bags. It's like if you bought a lipstick, you get a bag. You bought a blush, you get a bigger bag. But you know, whatever. I can deal with this. So I am going to share what I got with you. I am also going to be just telling you about my weekend in New York in general here. So kind of a much more laid back vlog, but this is just how I felt like doing it because I didn't feel like having my camera out and talking to my camera the whole time because I was staying with one of my very best friends from high school, Katie. She's been in some of my videos before, some thrift related videos, so you may or may not remember her. She's got the short blonde hair, very pretty girl. It was a whole adventure, so let's just get on into it. The 3-day weekend overall. I had such a good time. I left on Friday morning at 7 a.m. on the bus to go from Boston to New York. I got maybe an hour of sleep if I was lucky between Thursday and Friday morning, and then I had to leave before like connecting buses and whatnot were even running for the day, so I had to walk all the way to the train station with all of my luggage, and it was raining, but I made it somehow. I don't know how, but somehow I made it to the Greyhound place. It was very confusing. I don't know if any of you live here in Massachusetts, if you've ever been to South Station with all of the bus terminals and stuff. This is very confusing, especially getting to the Greyhound line. I don't know. But so I finally got on, and oh my gosh. First off, the bus was full. Second off, the passengers that were on this bus, you guys. Oh my goodness, they were awful. The girl that was sitting next to me, I don't know what she was watching on YouTube, but she apparently was watching something super funny. Hello. So she was like laughing and giggling, and she was like a giggle wiggler, so she was like wiggling around in her seat and just like kicking, and she was just not pleasant to sit next to say the least. And then the boys behind me were very loud and just nonstop talking, and and then to add to that, the guy sitting in the aisle like next to / across from me just pouring on the computer out in the open. No big deal, no shame, just he wasn't doing anything, but I mean, the pouring on the computer. So my bus ride was awful, but I made it. I made it to New York, and I met up with Katie, and it was wonderful, and we went, I wish I remembered the name of this place, but I can't remember it, but it was this really cool, I think it was just like a burger place, but they were like all organic and like naturally sourced and like all this stuff, and they had a bunch of like vegan options, and so I got a vegan burger, and it was delicious, and sweet potato fries, and they had fantastic shakes. I got a peanut butter chocolate shake, like oh my gosh, it was so good. I'm sorry I didn't film it because I was so excited to be there and to see Katie, and we were talking, you know, forgive me. I mean, it was food. And then we went to Katie's place just to drop off all my stuff, and so that was the first time I had been to her New York place. That was fun to see. I believe right after that we went to MoMA, which was wonderful, and it's just the Museum of Modern Art if you're not familiar. I shouldn't say it's just but so many mixed emotions when I went there. Like, we started out in the kind of like contemporary floors and whatnot, and just like looking at all of the work of like new artists and like recent artists and stuff, and it's just like this is the crap that I hate. Like, this is everything I've been learning about in school and everything that I hate about the art world and everything that I wish was different. If you don't know anything about the art world, it's very much right now all about the idea behind the work and like your philosophy behind it and this, that, and the other thing, with like really not much regards to aesthetics or anything. Like, I mean, one of the pieces in there, I have no idea what it was about because there was no statement about it or anything, but it was just a bottle of soy sauce underneath a glass case. Freaking Duchamp, he started everything. I hate him. That aside, we finally made it up to the older floors of all of the beautiful classical works, and we walked into the room that had, I'm trying to think of what other artists they had in there. I can't even think off the top of my head right now, but I will definitely insert them here. That room, all I can remember is the Van Goghs, and I'm starting to like tear up again. They have his Starry Night painting, and I was crying. I was crying like a wee child, and so I'm sorry, I know that footage is kind of shaky, but it's because I was crying. Van Gogh is one of my favorites, and just like his whole story and like his personal history and all that, and not to mention his paintings are just... they provide such a big escape for me. I think they're beautiful, to say the least. So that was really, really overwhelming. We also got to see some huge Monet paintings and just a lot of really, really beautiful, just classic pieces of art. And it was really, really good and refreshing, at least for me as an artist. You know, it's really hard to get kind of clogged with all of the crap that they pump into you in grad school nowadays, I feel like, with like, you know, this is what you need to be doing to be a successful artist right now, and like, I hate all of that. Like, I don't want my art to be any of that, and so to like go to a museum and look at the old art, and like, I go to the museum here in Boston too, but like, it's just, I don't know, I haven't been in a long time, and something about going to MoMA and just like seeing new pieces of art, it was just so refreshing to be able to remember. If I end up being, I mean, I'm not going to be, but like if I end up being a Van Gogh where I only sell one painting in my lifetime, but then after that people appreciate my work, I'm totally okay with that, if it means I can still stick to the aesthetics of art and just create beautiful things because I want to create beautiful things. Is that a good enough rant? They also had a Bjork exhibit going on, but we didn't want to wait around for that. I mean, I love Bjork, don't get me wrong, but the lines were insane. So yeah, that was my experience at MoMA. It was so good to go there. It was my first time. I mean, it was my first time in New York, so it was really, really fun, and it was so hilarious just like looking at all of the buildings. I mean, in Boston, like, it's still a city, or like even in Minneapolis where I grew up, like, it's a city, and like, yeah, there are tall buildings and stuff, but something about you go to New York and you look at these buildings and you look up and they're so tall. I was laughing like a fool walking down all these streets with Katie and just like looking up. It's just ridiculous. But we stopped by Magnolia Bakery, or is it Magnolia's Bakery? Katie insisted that we did so that we could get their banana pudding, and I would definitely say that it was worth it. It was very, very delicious. We just sat down and ate that outside, even though it was a little windy, a little chilly, but you know, it was nice. We also were near Topshop, which I wanted to go to because everyone on YouTube talks about Topshop. So I just figured, you know, we're in New York, why the heck not? So we went in there and we walked around the like sale section and whatnot because I can't afford their full price stuff. I could not even afford their sale stuff. So I did not buy anything, but Katie got a few things. She didn't get a few things. She got one thing and it was amazing on her. Sorry I don't have footage, but you know, they don't allow filming in there and whatnot. But it was just like a black jumpsuit type thing and she just looked good in it. So that was that. And then after that we went and saw a show on Broadway, so that was very, very fun. Here's the playbill. We went and saw A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder. I enjoyed it. I was exhausted by the time we got there, so unfortunately I definitely nodded off a little bit near the end of the first half of the play, but it was still really, really enjoyable. We were right up front and right over the pit. The people who were playing the main male roles were such phenomenal singers and just actors. The guy in this that plays like 18 different roles was so funny. He was so charismatic. He did a really, really good job. And then by that point it was like already 11:30 or something. We just went back to Katie's place and went to bed. So yeah, that was that day. That was Friday, so it was a very long day, but it was very fun. Then Saturday was IMATS. So I just, you know, let Katie sleep in. I was just going to IMATS by myself. I got there, somehow I navigated. I felt like such a big girl finding my way around New York, because Katie did not live near where IMATS was. I mean, like, kind of near, but it definitely still took like 45 minutes to get there. There was a lot of walking involved for me, and just, oh my gosh, you guys, my feet right now, they look like little sausages. So I got to IMATS, I got there around 10 o'clock, they opened at 9, but you know, it was fine, I think. The minute you got there, you could tell. I mean, you had to wait in a line outside, and then once you finally got inside, basically for all of the booths that were there, you could hardly even go look at the counter, like, to see what they had. You had to like wait in line to even see what they were offering, or like if you did get to see what they were offering at their counter, you then had to wait in a line to check out. And these lines, I'm not talking like a wham bam thank you ma'am kind of a line. I'm talking you had to wait at least like 35 minutes just standing in line. So the first counter that, I suppose, here, we're getting into the hall, aren't we? So the first counter that I decided to stop at, because it was right nearby and it was the first thing that I saw that I knew I wanted to go look at, was Tarte. So I was just waiting in their line. I didn't realize, you know, how exactly IMATS worked. I mean, it was my first time, I was alone, and so I just got in line thinking, oh, you know, this will go pretty quick, but I ended up waiting in that line for probably at least a half an hour, like said. While I was standing there, I was just like, oh my gosh, like, I'm never gonna be able to run into people when I'm just standing stagnant in a line, and probably other people are doing the exact same thing. So right before I kind of like got to like be allowed up to the counter, I messaged Jen on Instagram from Jen Loves Reviews and like asked where she was. Then I finally got to go up to the Tarte counter, and at least at the Tarte counter, it was a little strange. Basically, you got up there and then you got to like work one-on-one with the person behind the counter. There were like multiple people at the counter to help, like more than just one person at a time, but they didn't have like all of their products laid out, you know, like they just had a select few, but they had tons of their products, like all of their blushes and like all of their everything there for you to purchase if you wanted to. So you had to know their products really, really well. I know their products really, really well, but I wasn't really looking to buy any of them, especially because of the one thing that I did buy, which I didn't know I was going to buy, but like I kind of had a feeling I was gonna buy it. I suppose here, now that we're hauling, get you a little closer. Their stuff was pretty well discounted. I mean, some of it more than others. You know, like their mascaras were going for 10 bucks, their packs of wipes were going for like 5 bucks, etc., etc. But I decided to get this palette, this beautiful palette, this, oh, as I'm holding it upside down, not that it really matters to you. Here you go. This is fairly new. I've just been starting to see this pop up online in like emails and stuff. I think the palette is super duper pretty. It's just got these nice flowers. I'm assuming they're poppies. Yep, they are. Oh, oh, oh. Oh my gosh, beautiful. Like a beautiful big mirror. And then you get 2 trios of eyeshadows, which I kind of wish they were a little bit more different from each other, but like that's okay. I was more in this palette for this blush. This is their Glisten blush. I have seen and wanted Glisten for forever. And okay, whew, Sorry, my shoulders are getting tired from holding that up. I have been wanting Glisten since it's come out in their single blushes and whatnot, and I just, you know, I couldn't justify it, blah 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 blah. But since this palette was discounted, I don't know how much it retails for originally. I will look it up, and if the price is available, I will put it on the screen here. But this was going for sale at IMATS for $30, which is pretty much the cost of a blush of theirs, so I was like, yeah, I can be okay with that, you know? So I've never tried out Tarte eyeshadows before, so I'm excited to play around with these. That was my purchase number 1, and I just, oh, it's so pretty. I'm so happy I picked this up. Next up was when I went to NYX, and oh my gosh, you guys, NYX was an animal house. It was awful, like really bad. I mean, you had to like push and shove your way up to get to the counter to like look at their products, and stuff was already starting to sell out by the time I got there, which I probably got there around like 10:45 or so. I really wanted to see because I had wanted to pick up a couple things in particular to test out here. So I finally got up there. I was able to push my way up, and then I felt kind of bad for some of the girls because they had like blushes and stuff out too, you know, to swatch, but instead of having them, you know, counter way, they had them facing this way, so if you like leaned against the counter to reach for a lipstick or something, you got eyeshadow and blush like all over you. I was glad I saw it happen to some other girls, that I avoided it myself, but that was a bad idea on NYX's part. I only wanted to get 4 lip products, and why I decided to stand in line to buy these, I mean, yeah, they were discounted, they were just about half off. Was it worth it? I don't know. But at that point, Jen had gotten back to me on Instagram. She asked where I was, and I was like, oh, I just got in line at the NYX line, like, I'm gonna be here for freaking ever, like, blah, 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 blah. I'll insert the little clip that I decided to vlog from the two of us here when I finally got to see her. Hello, everyone! Do you recognize this pretty face right here? Hi! Yes, I'm glad we're the same height. Yes, this is convenient. This is really nice. Usually my friends are all like 6 feet tall, so I have to like...
We're pretty good, but this is solid. We're solid.
Yeah.
Yes. But in case you don't know me, I'm Jen, and I have a channel called Jen Loves Reviews, and I happen to love Cassie, and I'm so excited to meet her and be here in a video.
Yes!
I'm so excited. Like, this has like made my day.
Me too. I was so scared. I was like, I'm gonna be doing this vlog and I'm not gonna see anybody, and I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna be like, so I was alone the whole time.
Not anymore.
Yes.
Not anymore.
So happy. So, yeah.
We're gonna keep waiting in line, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not much else to report other than lines and lip products.
Yes, that you're gonna do a video on.
Because you guys have been bugging me about these soft matte lip creams, even though I already know I don't like them.
Oh no, but you're gonna get them anyway.
But
that's taking one for the team right there.
I know. People told me I have to try the darker colors.
Okay.
So we'll see if we go. You guys sometimes prove me wrong.
She listens.
I do. I try. Yay! Okay. Bye. So that was that, and then her husband John was there with her, so it was really great to meet him too. They just waited in line with me the whole time. I was probably in that line at NYX for like an hour and a half, but since Jen was there and we got to chat the whole time, it really only felt like 20 minutes to me. Like, it just, time went by so fast. Jen, I know you're probably watching this. Is that like really like self-assured of me? But I know you're probably watching this, so it was so good to meet you in person. I had so much fun with you there at IMATS, and you are just a beautiful, beautiful person inside and out. Jen is just as vivacious in real life as she is in her videos. If you haven't watched Jen's videos, her channel is Jen Loves Reviews. Definitely go check it out. I will link it down below, of course, for you. I just love her. Her What's Up in Makeup series that she started doing on Sundays gives me life. So it was just so much fun. I finally got my NYX products, so that was good. So here are the 2 lipsticks that I got. These are the high voltage lipsticks that came out not too long ago. So I got Playdate, which is on the bottom here, and then Flutter Kiss. So I'm very excited to do a first impression on these for you all. And then the other two that I got, I decided, you know, since these were discounted, I was at IMATS, YOLO, I got these. So these are the soft matte lip creams. The shade that I got on top is Copenhagen. The one on the bottom is San Paulo. So I will definitely be doing a video on these, and we will see. We will see if these end up working better for me. You know, I'm curious to try them out. So thank you guys. I hope you are right. So of course, while I was waiting in line for NYX with Jen, I had to ask her what she had gotten so far. It was one of the only things she had gotten, but I knew that I needed to go get these too, and I had never heard of this company. Have you? This is Outer Beauty from Within. Jen showed me what she got. I touched them. I needed them. It was a need that I wasn't expecting, but these are 100% vegan, so that's great. No animals were hurt to make these brushes, and I just decided to get the Be Flawless collection, the face brush collection. So here are the 4 brushes that come in the set from Outer Beauty. This is the F106, the tapered kabuki brush. Don't look at my face, look at the beautiful brush. Oh, you guys, I wish you could touch this through the screen. These are so soft, and they're just like that perfect amount of denseness where I can tell it's gonna pick up just enough product but not too much. It's just enough to make you look like a pretty person, not enough to make you look like a clown. This is the F100 round kabuki. It's got a very, very slight dome to the top there, if you can see. And like I said, it is just dense enough where you can tell this will be great for buffing out product. Oh, they're so soft, you guys, and so plush. Just really beautiful, and you know, aesthetically I think they're really nice. Sleek matte feel to the brush handle, and a silver, what is it called, a ferrule. I know, the painter doesn't even know what it's called. And just, it's one of those things where you're just like, I want to rub you on my everything. And then we also have the F104 angled kabuki. So this one is going to be great for putting on like contour and whatnot. It's just got a nice slant to it where it's not too harsh of an angle, but just right. And it's super dense and nice and fluffy, just like the other ones, nice and soft. Like, I don't know how else to like tell you guys how perfect these brushes are, other than the price is phenomenal. For this brush set of 4 brushes, I was able to get it, I believe it was $32. That's amazing for 4 face brushes. That's less than $10 a brush. I'm all for that. Here is the F102 flat kabuki, and granted, you know, that was the IMATS price. I'm not sure how much these go for in reality, but I'm sure it's not too much more than that. So you can see the flat kabuki, it's a little bit, I don't want to say less dense because it's still dense, but like it's a bit more flexible, but still super duper soft. These kinds of brushes I love using for setting powder, just to really buff it in. Oh yeah. I'm so excited. Yeah, you're jealous. I get it, Car. I get it. But don't worry, because you can order online. I was sure to grab their information and whatnot. And no, this is not sponsored at all. They have no idea who I am, really. If you want 15% off, I'm sure you can have it, even though you didn't go to IMATS. This isn't like a personal code or anything, so it's just boom, show 2015. And that lasts until December 31st of 2015, so you have a long time to use that. I will put this stuff down below too, so that it's easier access to you. But there was their little business card and whatnot. I'm just super excited about their brushes. So, I mean, if I had $1 million, if I had $1 million, I would have bought every single brush of theirs, but I had to be selective. Someday. So the next stop we made was at MBA Cosmetics. I forget exactly the reason, but Jen wanted to go stop here, so we did. And oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. John said that they had yummily scented lip balms and lip scrubs, and I was like, count me in! So I went over to where he was, and I couldn't help it. I mean, when you're making lip balms, gluten-free, vegan, all of that good stuff, so no guilt involved, and then not to mention red velvet cake and butter pecan, plus they had tons of other really yummy ones that I was so tempted to buy. They had, you know, like peach and lemon and just so many yummy looking ones. I refrained because I have so many lip balms. But I already opened these up and smelled these with Katie later that day, and they really do smell really, really good. The red velvet cake smells a little bit more like chocolate cake to me, but who am I to complain about that? The butter pecan one though, so good. So here's just the packaging. Nothing too special there, but they were $3 a piece, so not bad, and you get 0.15 ounces. So you know, I love lip balms. I'm happy to have these just hanging out around the apartment. After that, we kind of sort of started running into a bunch of people that Jen is friends with on YouTube. So we were just standing around kind of chatting to each other. So it was so nice to meet some of you ladies. I personally didn't meet anyone that I knew, which was unfortunate. I know there were a couple of you that said you were looking for me and you couldn't find me. I'm so sorry. I wish I could have given y'all hugs and chatted with you, but the people that Jen introduced me to were all so lovely, and it was just really good to see them. If you go to Jen's channel and you watch her vlog, whenever it goes up, you'll see all the people that she bumped into there. Then after that, one more thing we had to do. Jen had picked up this eyeshadow palette previously, and then she wanted to go back to meet this girl who I know about her, I had heard about her, but I don't think I've ever checked out her YouTube channel. I don't know if you recognize her little picture, but this is Samantha Riley. She had done like a collaboration with this company called Serenity Scott, and Jen had picked up the eyeshadow palette. I hadn't looked at it or anything. Like I said, I really didn't know anything about this, but Jen wanted to go back and get it signed by her, you know, make her feel all special and whatnot, which I thought was great. And the minute Jen opened up this palette, you know, I was happy with all of my purchases that I had made. I was like, I was a good girl. I didn't spend too much. Like, it was just about what I was planning on spending. But then Jen opened up this palette. Needless to say, I had to buy it. It's so pretty, you guys. It's so pretty. Are you ready? Can you handle this? Y'all ready for this? Ba-da-da-da-da-da, there it says Serenity Scott eyeshadow palette. No, it doesn't. That's just on the back. But I'm reading that. Da-da-da-da-da-da, boom. This is everything. This is everything and more. I can't taint these and swatch these for you quite yet because I haven't photographed them yet, unswatched. But let me tell you, this color. Look at this color. Look at this color. Look at this color. That color is everything and more. And when you swatch it, it is so buttery, it is so beautiful, and just all of these shadows. All of these shadows are beautiful. These are showing up really blue on camera, but these are more like gray taupe colors. This palette is everything. And I made her sign mine too. I was like, so, I've never met you before, I really don't know anything about you, but I'm sure I'll regret it if I don't have you sign this, so thanks. So that was really sweet of her to do. And the people that were working for this company, there were just a few of them there, but they were seriously so nice. So nice. It really felt like they were very passionate about their products and like they cared, and they didn't just want you to buy their products, but they really wanted you to enjoy their products. This was a pricey palette. It was. I don't know how much it retails for originally, but I think it was either like $41 or $49, which like, it was a last minute, split second purchase, but I needed it. I needed it. And I know that if I hadn't have picked it up, I would have regretted it horribly. So I'm very glad that I picked this up. That's it, you guys. That's what I got from IMATS. I felt so bad when I finally had to cut out, but I had plans with Katie and wanted to spend time with her too, but the few / multiple hours that I spent with Jen and her husband John just walking around, it was so much fun. I really did have a great time. I think that's the one thing about IMATS I can say is definitely go with a friend. The first little bit there where I was by myself, I mean, it was fine, but, you know, I was just standing there listening to podcasts, waiting in lines. You know, like when you're there with somebody, it's a lot more enjoyable, and, you know, you can test out the products together and you can inspire each other to go buy different things and go look at different things that you wouldn't have thought of. Overall, it was just a fun experience, you know, if you're a makeup beauty lover, it was just kind of a really fun environment to be around, to be surrounded in. Surrounded by, it's been a long weekend. After that, I met up with Katie. We went to City Kitchen. We went there because I hadn't eaten yet that day and I needed food at that point. It was like probably 3 o'clock when we finally met up, 2:33. And so I got some sushi and that was delicious. And we also got, this was one of my musts on my list of things to do when I went to New York. I needed a donut from Dough. So they had a Dough there. We got donuts. Katie got a coconut one. I got, what did they call it? It was like a chocolate mocha crunch or something. Oh, these donuts, you guys. They are all handmade, you know, hand formed, hand fried and dipped and delicious. And they're huge. And it was only, I mean, I shouldn't say only, but I was expecting them to be like $5 or $6 a donut and they were only $3 a donut. So I was very, very happy with that. And then after that, Katie had told me that she had recently found a thrift store. It's called Unique. She said it was really good and that she needed to take me there. So I was like, duh, of course we're gonna go. So we went there and I also got some things from there. So I'm gonna share them with you real quick. I know, sneaky surprise. It was a great place. It was really clean. There was a decent selection of clothes in a bunch of different sizes. So that was nice. First off, I got this painting and I'm kicking myself because I know who this artist is that painted these Vanitas type paintings and I can't think of their name and it's just absolutely killing me. Ugh. But either way, Katie, you know, when we were at her place, she had one of these. It was a different painting of theirs, but she had it and she showed it to me and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so pretty and so cute and blah blah blah, and she was like, yeah, I just got it at that thrift place, la la la. And then we went and then there was another one, so I decided to get it, and now we have matching kind of little paintings, so that's nice. This was $3.99, which a little more expensive than I wanted it to be. I was expecting it to be like $2.99, but you know, what's an extra $1 when you're in New York? And then clothing-wise, Katie told me I had to try this on, and I am so glad that she made me try this on. This is just this nice little dress with this rope pattern, I guess. I didn't know I was into rope patterns, but this one, it's just good, and it just wraps around the bosom really nicely, and it just fits me really nicely, and it's really comfy. And for a mere $9.99, again, a little pricey. I would have expected around here to pay, you know, like $6.99 for it, but you know, when in New York, you spend your money. And then the second thing, I was so excited to find these. I have been wanting a pair of kind of like blush colored pants, and while these aren't quite blush, they're more of like a muted blush plum. I was very excited. They're just pants and they've got zippers down the ankles, which I think are really cute. They're by Lauren Conrad, which I think is hilarious, but they fit me perfect, and I'm glad there's not like a big label that screams Lauren Conrad on them. These were $6.99, which I didn't feel bad about at all. I mean, I wish they were $5.99, but again, I need to stop. At this point, we had kind of already like made our purchase choices, but then we decided to kind of bop around a little more, and so of course we found more stuff. But I needed this dress. I really did, even though I need to cut the lining out of it because the lining is so wonky, and the shoulder pads. But look how cute! It's just this really bright red dress with a little bit of a flare to it, and it's got this flower pattern. and I just like it, you guys. It's just really cute. This was $5.99, so not bad. And then last up, this dress is kind of silly, and I'm not going to be wearing it as a dress because it is absolutely not my size, but I just love the print on it. Look at these fish. I don't know why, but I am obsessed with these fish. They're so cute. You probably think I'm absolutely insane, but I decided, yay, fish pillow coming right up. So I'm excited to turn that into a pillow. $3.99, so not wonderful, but also not awful either. Yeah, that was all the stuff to haul. We decided to go to the Brooklyn Bridge and see if we could, you know, get a nice view. The sun was starting to set, and it ended up being really, really beautiful. Once we got to the end of it, there was this boy, and he was riding this scooter that the wheels lighted up as he went along, but I kept missing him. I wanted to get him on film because it was the coolest thing ever. Scooter boy just kept scooting on by. Finally, I got him on camera, so that was very stupid. But I felt very accomplished, and after that we went to the 9/11 memorial, which was really, really beautiful. I didn't really know much about it. I knew there was a memorial, but I didn't really know what they had done for it. Really, really sad, and puts things into perspective and like reminds you to be grateful for the things you have. So yeah, that was good to see. It was like at that point of the day and after the previous days like of just walking around, I was so tired and I just wanted food, but I was like, you know what? I'm in New York. I don't know that I'll ever be back in New York. I need to go or else I'm gonna be kicking myself. So I'm really, really glad we went and did that, even though I was complaining for a lot of the walking there. Sorry, Katie, thanks for dealing with me. And then after that, we stopped at one other place that was on my checklist of things I need to do while I'm in New York, and that was to go to Momofku. Oh my gosh. Most of you probably have no idea what I just said. Let me type it out for you, and let me also pronounce it, I'm sure how most Americans pronounce it. Momofuku. It's a Japanese restaurant. It's actually pronounced Momofku in Japanese. Now you know. But I needed to go there. I have the cookbook, and of course I've not made anything because I knew I was just gonna mess it up. But I knew, like, I have no words. So Katie and I got the pork buns, which I needed to try, so I got the pork buns, and we split those, and then we also both got the Momofku ramen, which was so effing good. Like, seriously, just the combination of all the flavors and textures and just everything about it was just delicious. So, really, really happy with Momofku, and by the time we got done eating there, it was 11:45. Oh, and before that, I forgot to mention, we had to wait because there's always a wait for Momofku, so we had to wait like an hour and 20 minutes, I think, to get a spot to eat, which was fine. I needed to go there, so I was gonna wait even if it was 8 hours. I mean, come on. I'm kidding, am I? So we decided just to go get a drink in the meantime, so we went to this little like hole in the wall where they sold wine and beer and whatnot to drink. So Katie got a couple beers and I got a glass of wine, and it was a good time, so we just chatted and sipped on some spirits. And we went to Momofku, and by the time we were done eating there, it was like 11:45, and we needed to go to Milk. Milk is like Momofku's second shop type thing. I don't know what you would call it, but it's like their dessert shop. It's at a separate location. So we were like, we need to go because they close at midnight. So we literally were like running there. It was like a few blocks away or whatever. So we were just like dashing, literally dashing, and we finally got there. I needed to try their crack pie and also their cereal milk ice cream with extra crunch, so the actual cereal on it. Oh, so Katie and I split those and shared them, and oh my gosh, you guys, so good, So worth it. So happy I made it there. After that, we just decided to head on home. It was about that time. My bus left for coming back to Boston here in the morning, so I needed to get at least an hour of sleep. Just went to bed, got up the next morning, and then made my way back to Boston, and here we are. I had a really great weekend. It was so good being able to see Katie and being able to stay with her and getting to go to IMATS and getting to see Jen and meet just tons of different people. Let me know if you want me to do first impression type things on any of these palettes, like the eye palettes or whatever. I mean, I'll definitely be doing them on the lip products from NYX, but let me know about like the Tarte eyeshadow palette or the Serenity Scott eyeshadow palette. Let me know. I'm always up for your suggestions. I aim to please as long as it's in the realm of appropriateness. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a lot longer than I thought it was going to be, but I hope you enjoyed hearing about my trip to New York this weekend, and I hope you guys are all well, and until next time, just stay well until then. Bye!